it was decided that this video would be made about passive verbs. And when this video is watched, student grammar can be improved. Huh? That can't be right. As you probably figured out from that abomination of an introduction you just heard, passive verbs are our subject today. I'm not going to get into why they suck, although they do. What I am going to get into is how you can avoid using them. To start with, we have to ask ourselves at a very basic level, what exactly is a sentence? Well, a sentence is some kind of subject performing a person, place, or thing performing some kind of action. It's as simple as that, really. At the basic root, sentences are a subject performing some kind of action. Now, you can think of the way these two work together as being fairly vital. When you have the subject in charge, the sentence has a whole lot of direct power to it. Here's an example, and also proof that there are people in the world who are geekier about this stuff than I am. The subject, the hero. The predicate, rescued the crowd. The hero, subject, rescued, verb, the crowd modifies what the hero rescued. It tells you exactly what the hero did. The hero rescued. The hero walked would be a shorter sentence. He walked would be an even shorter sentence, but it would work because it was a subject performing some kind of action. If you want to directly state who performed what action, this is the way to do it. Subject, then verb, then anything that modifies the verb. However, there are other ways to do things, correct sometimes, but for our purposes, things you want to avoid. What I'm talking about now is the passive verb. And by passive verb, I mean when the standard subject performing some kind of action thing gets put in some weird kind of order. Bananas were frozen. Okay, that's fine, but we don't know who was doing the actual freezing. Bananas were grilled. We don't know who was doing the grilling. We just know that there was a subject of the verb, and we know the verb, but we don't know the subject of the sentence. There's an easy way to figure this out, and it involves zombies. I ran across this online, and it's a great way to think about it. If you can insert the phrase by zombies after the verb and the sentence makes sense, you have passive voice. She was killed by zombies. Passive. Zombies killed her is active because you can't really put by zombies after killed. Zombies killed by zombies her? No. So, active, a zombie ate my brain. Passive, my brain was eaten by zombies. Now, the real problem with passive verbs for our purposes is quite often they omit the subject altogether. My brain was eaten. It is a legitimate sentence in a lot of ways, but it doesn't tell us who performed the action. And in our type of writing, subjectivity can be very, very important. So let's run through some samples. 5 pizzas were eaten. Well, we know there are pizzas and we know that there are no more pizzas, but we have no idea who was munching on the pizzas. They ate 5 pizzas. The class ate 5 pizzas. Big Joe ate 5 pizzas. Data was run through the computer. Well, the problem with this, and the reason this is passive, is because we have no idea who actually ran the data. We know the computer was involved in some way, but who inserted the data could be quite important, particularly if we're dealing with a cybercrime of some sort. The programmer ran the data through the computer. That's active. There was applause after each song. Yeah, we can figure this out that the band probably was not applauding themselves, But the audience applauded after each song is more direct because it tells us the subject who was performing the action in question. Many laws were passed last year. By whom? This one is fiction anyway. We know they don't really do all that much work. A suspect was interrogated last night for 6 hours. Hopefully by the police, but the sentence itself doesn't say. The detective interrogated the suspect last night for 6 hours is a lot different than Joe down the block interrogated the subject last night for 6 hours. Because of the growth of suburban residential areas, the speed limit was lowered by 10 miles per hour. Well, who did it? Was it a city council decision? Was it somebody with a spray can and duct tape? Was it a voter issue? The tourist region was heavily damaged in Hurricane Jebediah. Hurricane Jebediah heavily damaged the tourist region as a more direct way of saying it that stresses the subjectivity. This awesome Steven Universe shirt was found on Etsy by zombies. Passive, see? I found this awesome Steven Universe shirt on Etsy is a much more direct way of going about it. And direct, in our case, is good. That's why this video is already over. So, that's how to avoid using passive verbs. Don't get me wrong, passive verbs sometimes can be really useful, like if you're trying to put together a set of instructions or something, but for academic writing, they're pretty much a no-no, so you want to stay away from them. And that would be a good place to end it, right? See y'all.